What is up, YouTube family? Matt here. And for over 10 years, I've been going to horror fan conventions. And in that time, I've had some really interesting experiences. One of those experiences happened back in 2014 while I was attending Monster Mania. And who just so happened to be there? None other than Gary Busey.
I'm an angel in an earth suit.
I've
been out of my body twice, and I stopped breathing for 8 minutes.
I had to meet him. So, in this video, I'm going to tell you about the time I met Gary Busey. Was he nice? Was he mean? You're going to want to stick around till the end of this video to find out. Mind you, this was just my experience, and the opinions in this video are solely my own. Now, I knew going into this that Gary was known to be unpredictable. Just ask Danny Glover.
Yes sir, in the row there, yeah.
What was it like working with Gary Busey?
Gotta have a Busey question.
I had the pleasure of working with Gary, man. You know, I mean, you know, Gary Busey was infamous then, you know, for all his antics, you know.
I figured, good or bad, meeting Gary would make for a really good story. So, during the Monster Mania Horror Convention, my group and I made our way to the celebrity meet and greet room. It was me, my mom and dad, my girlfriend at the time, and her cousin. Right off the bat, Gary was about 40 minutes late to his autograph table, which didn't really surprise me. My mom and dad went to meet Gary first, and right away, he was kind of flirting with my mom and asking her about her necklace. Now this was just simply friendly flirting and nothing to get carried away about. Then he was kind of mumbling on about necklaces, and we couldn't really make out what he was saying. And you can actually see my mom turning around and going, "What the hell is he even talking about?" So they got their autograph and they got their picture with him, and that was that. Not too big of a deal, right? Nothing too crazy. Well, then it was my turn. I first got Gary to sign a headshot from the movie Predator 2 that he was in. And after that, I sat down next to him, and my girlfriend at the time stood behind us. And I said, "Hi, Gary." And he growled at me. Exactly like a dog would do. Like this. He straight up growled at me. And I just laughed my ass off. What could you do after that? I didn't really see a point in trying to carry on a conversation after that, so we then just proceeded with getting our picture taken with him. And what happened next was actually really insane. My mom went to take our picture, and I'll give Gary credit, he did smile for the picture at least. But my girlfriend's cousin took a picture literally at the exact same time as my mom did, and Gary screamed at the top of his lungs, "One camera!" as his arm shot in the air like a missile towards her with a clenched fist, using his index finger to signal the number 1. She simply just froze and stood there. It came out of nowhere, and everyone, including literally the entire horror convention, went pretty quiet after that. And those conventions can get pretty loud. I laughed it off and said, "It was nice to meet you, Gary," got up and slowly walked away. I couldn't really understand Gary's argument over how many cameras you're allowed to take a picture with, but for some reason, it really set him off. Now, a little side note that I became aware of as the day went on. When it came to women, Gary would talk and flirt and try to engage in small talk. But if you were a dude, forget about it. It was like night and day. A friend of mine who attended the same exact convention said that Gary was all smiles and talkative to the girl in front of him, but when it came to his turn to meet him, he said that Gary had a look of disgust on his face. Gary must just have some problem with dudes or something.
Hey, who's the nicest famous guy you know? Matt Damon. Who is the biggest jerk? Gary Busey.
Now, I will say, when it came to children, Gary was pretty good with them. He would interact with them and he would pose with them, so I'll have to give him credit there. So if you're a woman or a child, you'll probably have a decent experience meeting Gary Busey. If you're a guy, proceed with caution. All throughout the rest of the horror convention, you would occasionally hear Gary freak out and yell something the same way he did with my group. We would literally be on the complete opposite end of the room and hear Gary yell whatever made him angry at the time. And I remember one guest saying to herself, "What, did Gary have another meltdown again?" So it must have been happening way before we even got there. So yeah, that was my experience meeting Gary Busey. And look, I'm not here to hate on the guy. I'm still a huge fan of his movies, and him for that matter. At the end of the day, I knew the situation I was getting myself into, and it makes for a really funny story. Thank you all for sticking around till the end of this video. And thank you also for all of the love and support. It really means a lot. This is Matt from Random Video Circus. Until next time.